Why? Why does being the most helpful, responsive, and reliable person you know leave you feeling so completely and utterly drained? Why does your reputation as the go-to person, the one who always picks up the phone, who always answers the email, feel less like a badge of honor and more like a crushing weight? You are competent, you are empathetic, you are a problem solver, and yet you are suffocating. You are drowning in a sea of quick questions, urgent requests, and can you just demands that are not your own. You go to bed with a racing mind, thinking about everyone else's needs, and wake up with a jolt of anxiety already behind on a to-do list that others wrote for you. Here is the central paradox of your life. Your greatest strengths, your empathy and reliability, have been weaponized against you, and the person holding the weapon is you. Welcome to the always-on paradox. This is the modern affliction where your accessibility, the very trait you thought made you valuable, has become your single greatest liability. This isn't about being kind. This isn't about being a team player. This is a compulsion. This is a deep, primal, and profoundly misunderstood trap. You are living in a state of toxic availability. And in this chapter, we are going to perform the most critical step of all, the diagnosis. You cannot heal a wound you refuse to see. You cannot solve a problem you don't understand. We are going to rip this feeling apart, look at its nuts and bolts, and understand why your brain, in its brilliant and flawed attempt to protect you, has led you into a cage. The answer isn't that you're weak or bad at time management. The answer is biological. The answer is neurological. And the answer is the key to your freedom. The tyranny of the immediate. Let's make this real. Does this sound like you? It's 9 p.m. You're finally on the couch, trying to unwind, to connect with your partner, to read a book, to just breathe. Your brain is still buzzing from the day. Then it happens. That tiny vibration from your phone. That almost imperceptible ping of a new email. You tell yourself, I'll just check it, just to see what it is. It'll only take a second. A quick question from your boss, a small favor from a colleague, a non-urgent text from a friend about plans 3 weeks from now. Suddenly, your body tenses, your heart rate quickens, you're no longer on the couch, you're mentally back at your desk. You fire off a quick reply, no problem, I'll handle it, just to make the feeling of tension go away. You think you've solved the problem. You haven't. You've just reinforced a devastating neurological loop. You've just taught your brain and the world that you are always available. That your time, your peace, your mental sanctuary is worth less than a notification. Or how about this? You're in the middle of a complex project, deep in thought, finally achieving that precious state of flow. An instant message pops up. It's not urgent. You know it's not urgent. But the red bubble, that little blinking icon, you can't not look. It's a neurological itch. You click it. The request is trivial, but it's too late. The delicate thread of your focus is shattered. The brilliant idea you were about to grasp has dissolved. It will take you, on average, over 23 minutes to get back to that same level of deep work. This is your life, lived in 23-minute fragments, punctuated by the demands of others. This state of toxic availability is not a personal failing. It is a biological mismatch. You are running ancient, survival-based software on a modern, digital operating system, and the conflict is tearing you apart. To understand why you feel so powerless, you first have to understand what power really is. Power is not about controlling others. Power is about controlling yourself. It is the freedom to consciously allocate your two most precious non-renewable resources, your time and your attention. Right now, you have given that power away to anyone who has your email address or your phone number. You have become a servant to the ping, a slave to the notification. To reclaim your power, we must first go into the command center of your brain and understand the faulty wiring that created this prison. Your brain's ancient alarm system. Imagine, for a moment, your ancient ancestor, tens of thousands of years ago on the savannah. What was their primary directive? Survival. And survival meant two things: find food and don't become food. But there was a third, equally critical directive: do not get kicked out of the tribe. For our ancestors, social rejection was not an emotional inconvenience. It was a death sentence. To be ostracized, to be cast out alone, meant no protection from predators, no shared resources, no help. It was a terrifying and fatal prospect. To protect us from this fate, our brain developed a hypervigilant alarm system. This system is centered in a small almond-shaped part of your brain called the amygdala. This is your emotional smoke detector. It is constantly scanning the environment and your social interactions for one thing: threat. When the amygdala perceives a threat, a saber-toothed tiger, or an angry look from a dominant tribe member, it triggers a powerful, instantaneous, and non-negotiable chemical cascade. It screams "danger" to your hypothalamus, which in turn floods your body with adrenaline and, most importantly, cortisol, the primary stress hormone. Your heart pounds, your muscles tense, your digestion shuts down. Your brain goes into red alert. All non-essential systems are shut off, and all energy is diverted to the prefrontal cortex only for the purpose of reacting to the immediate threat. This is the fight or flight response. It is a brilliant survival mechanism. Now, fast forward to today. There are no saber-toothed tigers in your office. And yet, your brain is behaving as if they are everywhere. That urgent email from your boss? That's a saber-toothed tiger. That text message from a friend left unread for 10 minutes? That's a saber-toothed tiger. That meeting invitation that lands in your calendar when you're already double-booked? Tiger. That simple request that you want to say no to? That, to your amygdala, is the most dangerous tiger of all. Why? Because that no represents a risk of social rejection. That unread text, that delayed reply, that boundary, your ancient brain interprets it as, they will be angry, they won't like me, they will think I'm not a team player, they will cast me out. And so, to avoid the deep, visceral, biological pain of potential rejection, you do the one thing that will make the threat go away immediately. You say yes. You reply instantly. You check the email at dinner. You sacrifice your power. You are not being helpful. You are having a biological stress reaction. Your compulsive yes is not a choice, it's a trauma response. It's a desperate attempt by your ancient brain to diffuse a perceived social threat and stop the flood of cortisol that is poisoning your system. The modern poison, the cortisol drip. Here is where the mismatch becomes truly toxic. The fight or flight response was designed to be acute. You see the tiger, you panic, you run, you escape, and then the cortisol recedes. Your body returns to a state of rest and recovery. The entire event is over in minutes. But in your always-on world, the tigers never stop coming. The pings, the dings, the vibrations, the unread emails, the endless stream of potential social threats, they are chronic. You don't get an acute flood of cortisol, you get a slow, constant 24/7 drip, drip, drip of it. This chronic cortisol is catastrophic for your body and your brain. It damages your immune system, it destroys your sleep quality, it leads to weight gain, anxiety, and burnout. But most insidiously, this constant cortisol drip literally damages the one part of your brain you need to reclaim your power, the prefrontal cortex, or PFC. The PFC is your CEO brain. It's the sophisticated, evolved, human part of your mind, located right behind your forehead. The PFC is responsible for everything that separates you from a simple reaction animal. It handles long-term planning, complex decision-making, impulse control, emotional regulation, willpower, focus. The amygdala is your smoke detector. The PFC is the rational fire chief who can assess the situation and say, "It's okay, it's just burnt toast. No need to panic." But here's the problem. Chronic cortisol is a neurotoxin to your prefrontal cortex. It weakens the neural connections in your PFC. It literally shrinks it. At the exact same time, every time you give in to the amygdala's panic by replying instantly, by saying yes, you strengthen the amygdala's power. You are, through your actions, actively rewiring your brain. You are weakening your CEO and strengthening your panicked smoke detector. This creates a terrifying feedback loop. A notification, a perceived threat, arrives. Your amygdala fires, releasing cortisol. This cortisol weakens your PFC, diminishing your willpower and impulse control. With a weakened PFC, you are less able to override the amygdala's panic. You give in and reply, "Yes, I'll do it." This action rewards the amygdala's panic, making that neural pathway stronger. You are now more likely to be reactive to the next notification. Do you see? You are not just busy, you are in a chemically induced state of chronic reactivity. Your brain is physically changing day by day to become better at being distracted, better at being anxious, and worse at deep thought, long-term planning, and exercising control. Your availability is not just a scheduling problem, it is a biological crisis. The promise: diagnosis is the first step. If you are feeling overwhelmed right now, good, you should be. You should be angry. You should be angry that your biology has been hijacked by a culture and a technology that profits from your reactivity. But let me be clear, this diagnosis is not a life sentence. It is the opposite. It is your first true moment of power. Why? Because the problem is not you. The problem is a system. And any system can be understood. Any wiring can be changed. The same mechanism that created this prison is the one that will set you free. That mechanism is called neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to reorganize itself, to build new pathways, and to change its structure based on your experiences, thoughts, and actions. You have until now been a passive participant in this process. You have allowed the world's demands to shape your brain for you, turning it into a hyper-reactive, low-focus machine. That ends today. The solution is not to become a recluse. It is not to throw your phone into the ocean or to become an unhelpful, selfish person. The solution is to stop being a victim of your biology and to start being a steward of it. In the chapters to come, we are going to dismantle this broken system piece by piece. We will go deep into the addictive disease to please and learn how to break the dopamine loops that chain you to other people's validation. We will confront the intense physical fear of saying no and give you the tools to diffuse that threat response. We will learn to manufacture scarcity, using the psychology of value to your advantage, making your yes a rare and precious gift. We will break the digital leash and detox your brain from the slot machine effect of your devices. And most importantly, we will begin the active, intentional work of rewiring your brain. You will learn to weaken the amygdala's hair trigger response and strengthen your prefrontal cortex. This is not a book of life hacks. This is a manual for a neurological revolution. For now, your only task is to see the cage, to see the always-on paradox for what it is, a biological trap. Think about your last 24 hours. How many times did you react without thinking? How many times did you say yes when your entire body was screaming no? How many times did you sacrifice your focus for a trivial demand? See it, feel it, acknowledge it. You are not powerless. You are just untrained. Your brain is not your enemy. It is a powerful, ancient machine that you are finally going to learn how to operate. The reclamation of your power begins now. It begins not with an action, but with an understanding. You see the paradox. You understand the faulty wiring. Now, let's go to work. Do you ever say yes just to avoid a moment of awkwardness? Think about it. That moment of hesitation. A colleague asks you to stay late to help with their project. A family member asks for a favor you absolutely do not have the time or energy to grant. You can feel the no rising in your throat. It's the right answer. It's the true answer. But then you see their face, expectant. You feel the crushing weight of their potential disappointment. The silence hangs in the air, thick and uncomfortable. And just to end that tiny, excruciating moment of social friction, you hear yourself say, "Of course, happy to help." And for the next 3 days, you are silently seething. You are filled with regret, resentment, and a white-hot anger at yourself. Why did I do that? Again? This, my friend, is the disease to please. And I am here to tell you that this is not a personality trait. You were not born nice. This is not a soft skill. It is an addiction. It is a deep, powerful, and neurological addiction to external validation. And just like any addiction, the high is fleeting, but the cost is devastating. It is costing you your time, your energy, your focus, and ultimately your power. In the last chapter, we diagnosed the always-on paradox as a threat response, a faulty alarm system driven by cortisol trying to protect you from the ancient fear of social rejection. But that's only half the story. The disease to please is the other half. It's not just that you're running away from a perceived threat, rejection. It's that you are desperately running toward a perceived reward, validation. You are not just avoiding the no that feels like pain. You are chasing the yes that gives you a fleeting chemical hit. Your brain's brilliant reward system, the very system designed to ensure your survival and motivate you to achieve, has been hijacked. It has been trained by you and by the world to crave one thing above all else: a pat on the head, a thank you, a "you're a lifesaver," a "what would we do without you?" Today, we unmask this people-pleaser within. We are going to put this addiction under a microscope, trace its wiring in your brain, and understand how it has become the invisible puppet master pulling your strings. The anatomy of an addiction. To break an addiction, you must first admit you have one. Let's be clear about what people-pleasing is. It is not kindness. Kindness is a genuine, conscious choice to give, and it comes from a place of abundance. People-pleasing is a compulsive, unconscious reaction, and it comes from a place of fear and scarcity. The kind person gives, and it makes them feel stronger. The people-pleaser gives, and it leaves them feeling drained and resentful. This compulsion is rooted in a simple, powerful neurological loop. It centers on a brain chemical you've heard of: dopamine. Dopamine is often called the pleasure molecule, but that's not quite right. It's the motivation molecule. It's the chemical of anticipation and reward. It's the part of your brain that says, "Do that again. That was good for our survival." In our ancient past, this system was a masterpiece. You find a bush full of berries? Dopamine hit. Your brain says, "Remember this spot. Go back." You successfully cooperate with a tribe member to hunt? Dopamine hit. Your brain says, "Social cooperation is good. Do it more." This reward pathway, primarily involving a part of your brain called the ventral tegmental area and the nucleus accumbens, is the engine of all human behavior. Now, let's see how this brilliant survival engine has been turned against you. You are a child. You do something that makes your parents happy. You get a good girl or a good boy. You feel a warm rush of approval. Dopamine hit. Your brain logs this. Making people happy equals safety, approval, reward. You're in school. You give the right answer. The teacher praises you. Dopamine hit. Validation from authority figures equals success. You join the workforce. You stay late, and your boss thanks you for being a team player. Dopamine hit. Sacrificing my time, professional reward. Do you see? You have spent decades unintentionally training your brain to equate external validation with survival and success. A like on social media, a thank you email, and "I don't know what I'd do without you" from a friend. These are no longer just nice moments. They are chemical fixes. Your brain, in its relentless pursuit of this dopamine reward, has developed a devastatingly simple algorithm. Want to feel good? Say yes. Want to avoid feeling bad? Say yes. The problem is, like any addiction, you build a tolerance. The hit you get from a simple thank you doesn't last as long as it used to, so you have to up the ante. You don't just say yes to a small favor. You say yes to leading the committee you have no time for. Yes to hosting the holiday you can't stand. You say yes to taking on a mountain of your colleagues' work just to get that one moment of, wow, you're amazing. You are no longer in control. Your addiction is. You are trapped in a dopamine loop. Q. A person presents you with a request, an opportunity for validation. Craving. Your brain anticipates the dopamine hit of their approval. Response. You say yes, even when you mean no. Reward. You get a fleeting thank you or a smile. The dopamine flows. The craving is satisfied, for now, and the loop strengthens. Every time you do this, you make it easier for your brain to do it the next time, and harder to do anything else. You are physically carving a yes pathway in your brain, while the no pathway withers from disuse. The hijackers, your daily dealers. This addiction doesn't operate in a vacuum. It's fed daily by the people and systems around you. Let's look at your dealers. The hijacker scenario 1, the quick question colleague. It's Mark from accounting. He's a nice guy. He appears at your desk or in your instant messages. Hey, got a minute? Just a quick question. You know from all past evidence that there is no such thing as a quick question from Mark. You are deep in focus, on a deadline. Your prefrontal cortex, your rational CEO brain, is screaming, tell him you're busy, tell him to send an email. But Mark looks a little stressed. He's expecting your help. Your amygdala, from Chapter 1, flashes a social rejection warning. But more powerfully, your reward pathway whispers, he'll be so grateful if you help him. You'll be the hero. You'll get that lifesaver hit. The craving for the hit overrides your rational brain. Sure, Mark, what's up? You say. 45 minutes later, his quick question is solved. He's relieved. Thanks, you're the best, he says, walking away. You get your tiny 1-second dopamine hit. And in exchange, your focus is shattered. Your deadline is now in jeopardy. Your own stress levels are through the roof. And the resentment begins to build. You just traded 45 minutes of your power for 1 second of his validation. It's a terrible trade. The hijacker scenario 2, the constant drama friend. It's 8 p.m. You're exhausted. Your phone rings. It's that one friend, the one who is always in a crisis. You are not their friend, you are their unpaid therapist. You know this call will be a 1-hour, one-way monologue of the same problems you've heard a dozen times before. You know they will ignore your advice. You know you will hang up feeling completely drained, like a battery that's been sucked dry. Your thumb hovers over the decline button. That is the button of your power. That is the button of your peace. But your addiction screams louder. If you don't answer, you're a bad friend. She'll be so upset with you. And then the deeper craving. But if you do answer, she will be so grateful. She will say, you're the only one who really listens to me. You're the good friend, the loyal one, the supportive one. You sigh and you answer, hey, what's going on? You are chasing the validation of being the supportive one right off a cliff. You've confused being a friend with being a martyr. And the reward of being needed has become so intoxicating that you are willing to sacrifice your own mental health to get it. You are not weak. You are not a bad person. Your brain's reward system has been hijacked by a lifetime of social conditioning. The promise, firing your external dealer. So, what do we do? If we are addicted to the dopamine hit of external validation, how do we ever break free? You do it the same way you break any addiction. You don't just try to stop the old behavior. You replace it with a new, healthier one. The problem is not the dopamine. The problem is your source. You have become completely dependent on an external dealer for your supply. You are waiting for the world, your boss, your colleagues, your friends, your partner, even strangers on the internet to give you your hit. This makes you a slave to their whims. You must constantly perform, please, and over-deliver just to get a scrap of the validation you crave. The solution is to become your own dealer. You must break this cycle by systematically rewiring your reward system. You must learn to generate your own validation, to fire your external suppliers, and to create a powerful, self-sustaining internal source. This is the antidote to the disease to please. It is the practice of internal validation. This is not a vague love yourself platitude. This is a neurological skill. It's the conscious, deliberate process of activating your own reward pathway, of giving yourself the hit. It's the ability to finish a task, step back, and before anyone else sees it, tell yourself, "That is good work. I am proud of that," and mean it. It's the ability to say no to that colleague, feel the discomfort, and then give yourself a powerful hit of validation for protecting your time. It's the ability to let that friend's call go to voicemail and validate yourself for honoring your boundaries. In the chapters to come, we will build this skill from the ground up. We will forge what I call your internal throne, the neurological seat of your own self-worth. You will learn to use neuroplasticity to build the new pathways that make self-approval feel just as real and rewarding as external praise. But for now, the unmasking is complete. Your task today is to become a detective of your own addiction. Watch yourself. When you get that urge to say yes, pause and ask, "Am I doing this out of genuine kindness, or am I chasing a hit? Am I acting from a place of power, or am I a slave to someone else's approval?" Just noticing the loop is the first and most powerful step in breaking it. You are no longer a passive victim of this disease. You are an active observer. You see the mechanism. You are not a people pleaser. You are a person with a hijacked reward system. And from this moment on, you are starting the process of hijacking it back. What if the most powerful word for your success, your peace, and your progress isn't yes, but no? And if you know that's true, why does it feel so awful to say it? I want you to think right now about the last time you wanted to say no. Not just no to a telemarketer, but no to someone who matters. Your boss, your partner, your best friend. Get that moment in your mind. You knew you were overloaded. You knew the request was unreasonable. You knew your answer should be no. What did you feel? It wasn't just a thought, was it? It was a physical sensation, a clenching in your stomach, a tightness in your chest. Your heart rate quickened. Your palms might have started to sweat. You felt a wave of intense, visceral discomfort. This is the central mystery we are solving today. Why does a simple two-letter word feel like a physical threat? Why does it feel so dangerous? In the last chapter, we unmasked the disease to please, the dopamine-driven addiction to the yes that gets us validation. Now we must confront the other side of that coin, the paralyzing, cortisol-driven fear of the no. You've been told no is a complete sentence. It's a nice theory. It's a cute refrigerator magnet. But for most of us, it feels like a lie. It feels incomplete. It feels like a confrontation. It feels mean. This is the myth of no, the belief that saying no to a request is the same as rejecting a person. And this myth is held in place by a deep, ancient, and powerful piece of your brain's wiring. Today, we are going to find that wire, and we are going to cut it. We are going to neutralize this threat response, dismantle this myth, and turn no from your greatest fear into your most powerful tool. The pain of rejection is not in your head. Your brain is a survival machine. As we learned in Chapter 1, its primary directive is to keep you alive, and one of its key strategies is avoiding threats. But our brains are not just wired to avoid physical threats, like a predator or a cliff. They are wired just as powerfully to avoid social threats. Remember our ancestors. For them, being ostracized from the tribe was a death sentence. To be cast out meant no food, no protection, no survival. The brain, in its evolutionary wisdom, developed a brilliant and ruthless mechanism to prevent this. It made social rejection hurt. I don't mean it hurts your feelings. I mean it physically hurts. Neuroscientists, using fMRI scanners, have made a remarkable discovery. When a person experiences social rejection, being excluded from a game, being spoken to harshly, or even just fearing rejection, the part of their brain that lights up is the anterior cingulate cortex, or ACC. Why is this a big deal? Because the ACC is the exact same part of your brain that processes physical pain. Let that sink in. To your brain, at a fundamental neurological level, the threat of social rejection and the pain of a physical injury are processed in the same command center. When you stub your toe, your ACC lights up and screams, "Pain! That's a threat to the body. Don't do that again." When you even think about saying no to your boss, your ACC lights up and screams, "Pain! That's a threat to the tribe. They will reject you. You will be cast out. Don't do it." Your heart pounds, your stomach churns. This isn't weakness. This isn't a character flaw. This is a social pain response. Your brain is literally treating your no as a physical threat. It's sending you the same alarm signals it would if you were about to put your hand on a hot stove. The no scenario, your brain on fire. Let's watch this biological train wreck in slow motion. It's Friday at 4:30 p.m. You're packing up. You have plans, important plans, an anniversary dinner, your kid's soccer game, a simple restorative evening of silence. Your manager, let's call her Sarah, walks over. She looks stressed. "Oh, thank goodness you're still here," she says. "Listen, the client just threw a fit. I know it's the weekend, but I really need you to rerun all those numbers and have a new deck ready for me by Monday morning." And freeze. In this instant, your brain goes to war. Your prefrontal cortex, your rational CEO, immediately says, "No, that's unreasonable. My plans are important. My family is important. My rest is important. This is a boundary violation." But before your PFC can even get the words out, your amygdala, your smoke detector, screams, "Danger! Social threat!" It slams the panic button. The amygdala triggers your anterior cingulate cortex, ACC. The social pain alarm goes off. Pain, pain. Saying no to the tribe leader is dangerous. She will be angry. She will think you're not a team player. You'll be ostracized. Your job will be at risk. This is a survival threat. A flood of cortisol and adrenaline hits your system. Your heart hammers. Your stomach feels like it's full of bees. The intense discomfort of this social pain is overwhelming. Your brain, in its desperate attempt to make the pain stop, searches for the fastest possible escape route. And it finds it, the one word that will diffuse the threat, the one word that will stop the pain. "Yeah, okay, no problem, Sarah, I'll get it done." The words are out of your mouth before you even gave them permission. In that moment, Sarah is relieved. The threat is gone. Your ACC quiets down. The cortisol drip slows. You have successfully avoided the immediate pain of social rejection. And in exchange, you have just sacrificed your weekend, your power, your family, and your self-respect. You have once again traded your long-term happiness for a few seconds of short-term relief. This is the loop that is ruining your life, and we are going to break it. The solution: decoupling no from pain. The problem is not the no. The problem is the faulty wiring that links no to a pain response. The solution is to retrain your brain. You must, consciously, teach your prefrontal cortex to override this ancient panicked alarm. You have to decouple the word from the threat. This is a two-part process. First, we adopt new cognitive frames. Second, we use new practical scripts. Part 1. Cognitive reframing. Rewiring your why. You cannot change your behavior until you change your beliefs. Your current belief, hardwired into your ACC, is no equals pain. We are going to install new, more powerful beliefs. You must rehearse these until they become more true than your fear. New frame 1. No is not a rejection of the person. It is a protection of your time. Read that again. You are not saying, "I reject you." You are saying, "I protect this." This shifts the entire context. You are not being aggressive. You are being defensive in the best way. You are defending your right to your own life, your own energy, your own priorities. New frame 2. No is not an attack. It is a fact. You are not saying no out of malice. You are stating a simple, neutral fact of your reality. I do not have the capacity. I am not available. That does not work for me. You are simply providing a piece of data. You are a container and you are full. You are not refusing them. You are informing them of your current state. New frame 3. Every no is a powerful yes. This is the most important reframe. You are not a no person. You are a yes person. But you are a yes person to the things that matter. When you say no to Sarah's weekend project, you are saying a massive, powerful yes to your anniversary dinner. When you say no to that pointless committee, you are saying yes to the deep work on your own project. When you say no to your friend's constant drama, you're saying yes to your own mental peace. A no is simply the cost of your yes, and it's time to start saying yes to the right things. Part 2. Practical scripts, rewiring your how. Your brain fears the unknown. When you try to say no, your mind goes blank, which gives the amygdala and ACC more power. You panic. Scripts solve this. They are preloaded, pre-approved tools for your prefrontal cortex. They give you the words when your brain is in red alert, allowing you to stay calm and rational. You must practice these. Say them out loud. They are your new default settings. The graceful no. Clear, kind, firm. This is your workhorse. It is polite, but it is a brick wall. The formula is kindness plus the no plus no excuse. Thank you so much for thinking of me for this. Unfortunately, I don't have the capacity to take this on right now. I truly appreciate you asking, but I'm not available for that. That sounds like a great project, but my focus is committed elsewhere at the moment. Key: do not give a long, weak excuse. I'm so sorry, I've just got this other thing, and then my cat is sick. This invites negotiation. I don't have the capacity is a complete, unarguable fact. The delayed no, the buffer. Sometimes you're just ambushed. Your ACC is screaming and you can't think. Your goal here is not to say yes, but to buy time for your PFC to come back online. Let me check my commitments and get back to you by the end of the day. I need to think about that. Can I let you know in the morning? Let me see what's on my plate, and I'll send you an email in an hour. This buffer moves you from a reactive state, amygdala, to a responsive state, PFC. You can step away, calm the cortisol flood, choose your graceful no, and deliver it with confidence. The yes but. No, the redirect. This is for when you want to be helpful but can't do the specific thing asked. I don't have time to join that committee, but I can send you my notes on the topic. I can't take on that project, but I can show you the template I use. I can't run the report for you, but I can spend 10 minutes showing you how to pull it yourself. This respects your boundary while still offering a small amount of value. Let's rerun the Sarah scenario. It's 4:30 p.m. Sarah is at your desk. I really need you to have a new deck ready for me by Monday morning. Your ACC lights up. Pain. Your amygdala screams. Threat. Your heart pounds. But this time, you have a tool. You take a breath. You let your prefrontal cortex take the wheel. Option 1. The graceful no. Sarah, I understand this is a tough spot. Unfortunately, I have a firm commitment this weekend that I can't move, so I won't have the capacity to get that done. There is silence. It feels awkward. Your ACC is still firing. But you hold. You don't fill the silence. You've stated your fact. It's now her problem to solve, not yours. Option 2. The delayed no. That's a major request, Sarah. I need to check on a few things. Let me review it, and I'll send you an email in the next 30 minutes with what's possible. She leaves. You take a breath. The cortisol starts to recede. You are now in control. You can email her back. Sarah, I've reviewed the request. Given the timeline, I won't be able to turn this around by Monday. I can, however, block off all of Monday morning to get it done by noon. Do you see the difference? You have moved from victim to architect. This will be uncomfortable at first. Your social pain alarm will go off. You are retraining a mechanism that has been in place since the dawn of our species. But just like building a muscle, every time you do this, you are literally building a new neural pathway. You are teaching your brain one no at a time that this is not a survival threat. The pain will lessen. The discomfort will fade. And no will be transformed. It will no longer be a word of fear, but a word of clarity. It will be the tool you use to build a fortress around your time, your energy, and your power. It is the complete sentence that gives you back your life. Why are the most respected and high-achieving people you know often the hardest to reach? Think about it. There's that executive who only answers email between 4 and 5 p.m. That brilliant creative who keeps their phone on silent all morning. That mentor you look up to who you have to book 3 weeks in advance just to get 30 minutes of their time. They are not always on. They are not instantly available. And yet their value is undeniable. Their power and influence are obvious. When they do speak, people listen. When they do give you their time, it feels like a gift. Now think about the opposite. Think about the person in your office who answers every email in 30 seconds, 24/7. The one who answers instant messages mid-sentence. The one who is always free for a quick chat. How are they perceived? Are they seen as the most powerful, respected, and valuable person in the room? Or are they seen as the utility player, the helpful but frantic, interruptible, and slightly cheap resource? This is the contradiction that lies at the heart of our careers and our lives. We believe, deep down, that being always on signals importance. We think that being hyper-responsive makes us indispensable. It does not. It does the exact opposite. It signals that our time, our energy, and our cognitive bandwidth have no value. In the last chapters, we've done the deep biological and psychological work. We've seen how the disease to please makes us chase validation and how the fear of no paralyzes us. Now, we are going to get tactical. We are going to use a fundamental law of human psychology and economics to build the fortress that protects your power. This is the principle of scarcity, and you are going to learn how to manufacture it. The first law of value. What is abundant is cheap. This is a law as fundamental as gravity. In economics, it's called supply and demand. In psychology, it's called the scarcity principle. What is rare, what is limited, what is hard to get is perceived as valuable. What is abundant, what is everywhere, what is easy to get is perceived as cheap. Think about diamonds. A diamond is, at its core, a compressed piece of carbon. But because it is perceived as scarce, it is a symbol of immense value. Water, on the other hand, is absolutely essential to life, far more important than a diamond. But because it flows freely from your tap, you don't assign it the same value. You don't hoard it, you don't treasure it, you take it for granted. Now, apply this law to you. Your most precious, valuable, and non-renewable asset is not your money. It is your focused attention. It is your cognitive bandwidth. It is your finite block of time on this planet. And for your entire life, you have been treating this asset, your personal, invaluable diamond, like tap water. By being always available, you have signaled to the entire world that your supply of time and attention is unlimited. You have made yourself abundant, and in doing so, you have made yourself cheap. This isn't an insult. It's a diagnosis of your personal market. Let's watch this play out. A colleague, let's call him Tom, needs to solve a problem. It would take him 20 minutes of research to find the answer. But he knows you're always on. So he sends you a message. Hey, quick question. Do you know the data on X? He has just made a calculation. He is spending your time to save his own. Because you are perpetually available, the cost of taking your time is zero. There is no friction. There is no barrier to entry. Why wouldn't he interrupt you? It's the most logical, cheapest solution for him. You, driven by the disease to please, Chapter 2, and the fear of no, Chapter 3, reply instantly. Oh, sure, here it is. You have just confirmed his belief. Your time is cheap. Your focus is interruptible. Is it any wonder you feel powerless? You have created a market where you have zero value. The perception of power. This is not just about economics. It's about the psychology of perception. When you reply to an email 30 seconds after it lands, what do you think you are signaling? You think you're signaling, I'm efficient, I'm dedicated, I'm on top of things. Here is what you are actually signaling. I am not busy. I have nothing more important to do than wait for your email. My focus is not engaged in high-value work. I am completely 100% interruptible. You have signaled that their demand is more important than your plan. Now, contrast this with the expert, the respected, hard-to-reach person. They receive the same email. They don't see it for 3 hours because their notifications are off. They are deep in flow state, solving a complex problem, the kind of high-value work you wish you had time for. When they emerge, they see your email. They give it 2 minutes of focused thought and send a clear, concise, and definitive answer. That reply, landing in your inbox 4 hours after you sent the original message, feels different. It feels weighty. It feels valuable. You subconsciously think, wow, they're so busy, but they took the time to give me a perfect answer. I'm grateful. This person is not playing games. They are not being manipulative. They are simply working in a way that protects their value. They have created, through their actions, an aura of intentional scarcity. They have taught the world, my time is for deep work. I will respond when I am ready. My focus is my fortress. This is the power you are going to build. You will learn to stop being a convenience store and start being a vault. How to manufacture scarcity without being a jerk. Let's be very clear. This is not about playing hard to get. It is not about ignoring people. It is not about being rude, unhelpful, or aloof. It is about curating your accessibility. It is about signaling to the world that your time and focus are dedicated to high-value, high-impact work, which in turn makes you more valuable to everyone, not less. You are going to do this by creating systems, clear, predictable, and professional boundaries that guard your focus. These are your new terms of engagement. System 1. The focus block, your fortress. Your most valuable work, the creative ideas, the strategic plans, the complex problem-solving, cannot happen in 5-minute fragments. It requires long, uninterrupted stretches of deep concentration. This is the neurological state known as flow state. You cannot wait for this time to appear. You must seize it. You must build a fortress around it. This is the focus block. A 90-minute to 2-hour block of time in your calendar that is as non-negotiable as a meeting with your CEO. This is your meeting, a meeting with your prefrontal cortex. How to do it? Put it in your calendar every single day, maybe 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Title it Deep Work or Strategic Focus. When this block begins, the world disappears. Shut down your email program completely. Shut down your instant messaging. Set your status to Focusing. Will reply after 10:30. Put your phone in another room, not on silent, not face down, in another room. If you have an office door, close it. The first time you do this, your amygdala will scream. Your disease to please will flare up. What if someone needs me? What if there's an emergency? This is your addiction talking. This is the fear of being unavailable. Your only job is to ignore it and do the work. This is you manufacturing scarcity. For these 90 minutes, you are the most unavailable person in the world. And in this unavailability, you will produce more high-quality work than you currently do in an entire frantic 8-hour day. The output of this block, the finished proposal, the brilliant strategy, the solved problem, is what creates your value, not your response time. System 2. Communication windows, lowering the drawbridge. You cannot stay in the fortress all day. You have to communicate. But you will decide when the drawbridge comes down. If your focus block is your fortress, communication windows are your new office hours. What it is: instead of checking email and messages all day, a state of reactive attention, you will batch all your communication into 2 to 3 specific short windows. How to do it? Choose your windows. For example, 10:30 a.m. after your focus block and 3:30 p.m. Outside of these windows, your email and chat are closed, not minimized, closed. During these 30-minute windows, you are a machine. You only process communications. You reply, you delete, you delegate. When the window closes, you are done. This is a revolutionary act. At first, it will feel strange, but 2 things will happen. First, you will break your own dopamine addiction to clearing the inbox. You will reclaim hours of cognitive bandwidth lost to context switching, that neurological penalty your brain pays every time you shift from a real task to your inbox. Second, you will retrain everyone around you. They will learn Tom doesn't reply in 30 seconds. He replies in the afternoon. I will get a thoughtful answer then. This immediately raises the perceived value of your time. And a funny thing will happen: 50% of the urgent questions you used to get, they will just vanish. People will find the answer themselves because it's faster than waiting for you. You have just used scarcity to eliminate low-value work. System 3. The digital sunset, reclaiming your life. Your availability doesn't just poison your workday, it poisons your life. The 9 p.m. email check, the quick text from your boss during dinner, these are violations of your power. You must manufacture scarcity for your personal time. What it is: a hard, non-negotiable cutoff time for all work-related digital communication. For example, 6 p.m. How to do it? Communicate it. Put it in your email signature. My working hours are 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. I will respond to messages received after hours the next business day. Enforce it. At 6 p.m., your work laptop is closed. Set your phone. Use Do Not Disturb or focus modes that automatically silence all work apps and notifications. You can set exceptions for true emergencies, like a call from your partner or child. This is the ultimate signal of value. It signals that your rest, your family, your mental health, your life is invaluable. It is not for sale. It is not available to your colleagues. And neurologically, this is your salvation. This is what finally allows the cortisol from the day to recede. It allows your brain to clean house, to consolidate learning, to rest, and to restore your prefrontal cortex for the next day. You cannot do high-value work if you are starting every day from a 50% deficit. The digital sunset is how you start at 100%. The new signal. This is not about being hard to get. This is about being hard to get because you are busy creating value. Your power does not come from your responsiveness. It comes from your results. It comes from your judgment. It comes from your creativity. By being always on, you are robbing the world and yourself of your best work. You are giving everyone your frantic, interrupted C game all the time. By manufacturing scarcity, you are creating the deep, quiet, unavailable space where your A game is born. You are no longer the 24-hour convenience store. You are the vault. Your doors are thick, your locks are strong. And what's inside? Your focus, your energy, and your time is very, very valuable. Is your phone the first thing you touch in the morning before your feet even hit the floor? Is it the last thing you see at night? Its blue light painting your face in the darkness long after you should be asleep? Be honest. Do you ever find yourself standing in your kitchen, phone in hand, with no memory of why you picked it up? Do you feel that phantom buzz in your pocket even when your phone isn't there? Do you feel a rising, irrational itch of anxiety when your battery dips below 10%? If you answered yes, I have a difficult, critical question for you. Who is really in control? You or the device? Welcome to the digital leash. It is the invisible, powerful, and profitable chain that connects your brain to the entire world 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is the primary tool that enforces your toxic availability. In previous chapters, we've explored the internal forces that make you available, your fear of rejection, your addiction to validation. Now we must confront the external enemy. And make no mistake, it is an enemy. Your smartphone, your laptop, your apps, your social media feeds, they are not neutral tools. They are not passive objects waiting for your command. They are precision-engineered attention-harvesting machines. Thousands of the brightest minds in the world, backed by billions of dollars, have spent the last decade focused on one single solitary goal: to make it as difficult as possible for you to ever be unavailable. Your reactivity is their business model. Your distraction is their product. Your always-on anxiety is their profit margin. This is a direct, calculated, and relentless attack on your brain's architecture. And today, we are going to understand how this weapon works so we can finally dismantle it. The slot machine in your pocket. Why is it so hard to ignore? Why can you be deep in focus, know the notification isn't important, and still feel a compulsive, irresistible urge to check it? It's not a lack of willpower. It's a neurological trap. It's called intermittent variable rewards. This is one of the most powerful behavioral mechanisms ever discovered. It was identified by B.F. Skinner in the 1950s, and it's the core principle that makes gambling, and specifically slot machines, so wildly addictive. Here's how it works. If you give a rat a treat every time it presses a lever, a predictable reward, it will press the lever when it's hungry. But if you give it a treat randomly, sometimes it gets one, sometimes it gets nothing, sometimes it gets a jackpot, the rat's brain goes haywire. It will press the lever compulsively, over and over, ignoring food, ignoring rest, until it collapses from exhaustion. The unpredictability of the reward is what makes it so addictive. The anticipation, the maybe this time, releases a massive flood of dopamine, the motivation molecule. It's not the reward itself that hooks you, it's the chase. Now look at your phone. You pull it out of your pocket. You pull the lever by refreshing your email, by opening Instagram, by checking your messages. What will you get? Sometimes, nothing. Boring. Sometimes, a like on a photo, a small hit. Sometimes, an urgent email from your boss, a danger hit. And sometimes, a wonderful text from a friend, a piece of amazing news, a hilarious video. The jackpot. Your phone is a slot machine. Every notification, every pull to refresh gesture is a gamble. And your brain, specifically your dopamine-driven reward pathway, is hooked. It has been trained to seek that unpredictable hit all day long. This creates a powerful, self-perpetuating dopamine loop. Cue, a moment of boredom, anxiety, or a simple buzz from your phone. Craving, your brain anticipates a hit. Maybe this time it's a jackpot. Response: you stop what you're doing, you pick up the phone, you pull the lever. Reward: you get something or nothing. It doesn't matter. The act of checking, of seeking, is what temporarily satisfies the craving, and the loop strengthens. Building a more anxious brain. This slot machine mechanism does more than just waste your time. It is actively rewiring your brain to be less focused and more anxious. Let's revisit our two key brain areas, the prefrontal cortex, PFC, your calm, long-term CEO brain, and the amygdala, your hyperreactive, fight-or-flight alarm. The constant, unpredictable hits from your digital leash create a state of perpetual low-grade agitation. Your brain is always in a state of anticipation. It's always waiting for the next ding, the next buzz. This state of constant anticipation strengthens your reactive amygdala. It's like doing bicep curls for your anxiety center all day long. At the exact same time, it short-circuits your prefrontal cortex. Your PFC, your CEO, is responsible for deep focus and impulse control. But every time you give in to the itch, every time you interrupt your real work to check your fake slot machine, you are telling your PFC, your goals don't matter, your focus is cheap, the itch is what's in charge. You are literally building a brain that is biologically better at being distracted. Let's make this real. You sit down to read a book or to have a real conversation with your partner. Your phone is face down on the table. You are trying to be present, but your brain is not with you. A part of your cognitive bandwidth is stuck on the phone. Did I get that email? I wonder if anyone commented. Did my boss reply? This is your hijacked dopamine system craving its next hit. This is your overstimulated amygdala scanning for the next threat or reward. You can't focus on the book. You can't connect with your partner. Your brain is no longer your own. It has been trained to serve the digital leash. This isn't a personal failing. You are not bad at focusing. Your brain is simply doing what it was brilliantly designed to do: adapt. And it has adapted to an environment of constant, high-frequency, low-value stimulation. The result? You live in a fog. You are busy but not productive. You are connected but not in community. You are on but never truly present. The promise: breaking the leash and detoxing your brain. So how do we fix this? How do we take on a multi-trillion-dollar industry designed to keep us hooked? We don't. We don't try to fight it. We don't try to win against the slot machine. We simply unplug it. The solution is not about willpower. It's about systems. It's not about throwing your phone away. It's about a strategic, neurological detox. The goal is to reset your dopamine baseline. You must teach your brain slowly and patiently that it does not need a hit every 3 minutes. You must create the space for your prefrontal cortex to heal, to come back online, and to regain control. We will do this with 2 powerful, non-negotiable systems. System 1. Create sacred spaces. Your brain learns from association. Right now, it associates every place with your phone, your bed, your dinner table, your bathroom, your car. We are going to break these associations. We are going to create sacred spaces where the digital leash is banned. The most important sacred space is your bedroom. Let's go back to our opening question. Your phone is the first and last thing you see. This is, neurologically, the worst thing you can do for your power. When you check it at night, you are flooding your brain with blue light, which directly suppresses melatonin, the hormone you need for deep, restorative sleep. But worse, you are playing the slot machine right before you're supposed to rest. You see a stressful work email, a danger signal to your amygdala. You see an anger-inducing political post. You are activating your threat response, pumping cortisol into your system at the exact moment you are trying to shut down. This is why you wake up feeling exhausted. When you check it in the morning, this is even more sinister. When you wake up, your brain is in a delicate state, transitioning from sleep to wakefulness. This is a critical window for your prefrontal cortex to come online, set your intentions, and plan your day. By grabbing your phone, you bypass your PFC entirely. You go straight to the slot machine. You start your day in a reactive posture, checking emails, reading bad news, scrolling through other people's lives. You are letting the world's demands set your agenda before you've even had a chance to set your own. The solution. This is the simplest, most revolutionary act in this entire book. Go to an online store, buy a $10 alarm clock. Tonight, take your phone and its charger and plug it in your kitchen, or your bathroom, or any room that is not your bedroom. Your bedroom is now 100% tech-free sanctuary. It is a room for only two things: sleep and intimacy. The first night, your addiction will scream. You will feel the itch. You will feel disconnected. Good. That is the feeling of the leash pulling. Let it pull. Within 3 days, you will experience a miracle. You will fall asleep faster. You will wake up rested. And in that quiet morning space, with no phone to grab, you will be left alone, with yourself. You will have the time to stretch, to think, to plan your day, to breathe. You have taken back the beginning and the end of your day. This is non-negotiable. Do the same for your dinner table. Make it a rule: no phones at the table, ever. The threat of "what if I miss something" will be replaced by the reward of real human connection. System 2. Restore your default mode network. What do you do when you have 90 seconds of in-between time? Waiting for the elevator, in line for coffee, stopped at a red light. You pull the lever. You check the phone. You have forgotten how to be bored. And in doing so, you are starving one of the most important parts of your brain, the default mode network, DMN. The DMN is another fresh neuroscientific concept for us. It is the state your brain enters when you are not focused on an external goal-oriented task. It's the daydreaming state. It's when you stare out the window, go for a long walk, or take a shower. And it is not doing nothing. The DMN is where the magic happens. It's where your brain connects disparate ideas, solves background problems, consolidates memories, and, most importantly, constructs your sense of self. It's the cradle of your creativity and your identity. Your digital leash is destroying your DMN. By filling every microsecond of boredom with a hit, you are never letting your brain enter this critical restorative state. The solution: you must schedule doing nothing. You must practice structured boredom. Once a day, go for a 10-minute walk without your phone. When you're in line, just stand there. Look at the people. Look at the ceiling. Let your mind wander. Once a week, sit on a park bench for 20 minutes with no book, no phone, no podcast. Just you and your thoughts. This will be profoundly uncomfortable at first. Your brain, addicted to stimulation, will resist. But in that quiet, you will reset your dopamine baseline. You will allow your PFC to heal. And you will, for the first time in years, hear your own voice, your own ideas, your own goals. You are breaking the digital leash, not by throwing it away, but by showing your brain it's no longer necessary. You are teaching it that the real rewards, creativity, peace, and a strong sense of self are found in the quiet, unavailable spaces you create. You are no longer a slave to the ping. You are no longer a rat at a lever. You are taking your brain back. What if you didn't need a single person to tell you "good job today" to feel completely and utterly powerful? What if that project you just poured your soul into, that difficult conversation you just handled with grace, that workout you just crushed? What if your own acknowledgement of that work was enough? What if it felt just as real, just as rewarding, just as hit-like as the praise you've been conditioned to chase? This is, perhaps, the most radical question in this entire book. Because for most of your life, you've been a brilliant architect, building a magnificent, towering sense of external validation. You've built it from the thank yous of colleagues, the praise of your boss, the likes on social media, and the approval of your friends and family. It is a beautiful, glittering, and massive structure, but it has one fatal flaw. You don't live inside it. Its foundations are hollow. Its stability depends moment to moment on the opinions of others. And when the winds of criticism or, even worse, indifference blow, the entire structure shakes and you are left terrified, exposed, and powerless. This is the core of our problem. Our availability, Chapter 1. Our disease to please, Chapter 2. Our fear of no, Chapter 3. All these symptoms are born from one root cause. Our sense of self-worth is underdeveloped. It's an empty, echoing space inside us. We have been desperately looking outward for a power that can and must only be built inward. In the last chapter, we broke the digital leash. We created the quiet, sacred space. Now, the most important work begins. We are going to use that space to build the one thing no one can ever take from you. We are not just going to find your self-worth. We are going to build it, brick by neurological brick. Today, you stop being a beggar for external validation. You start the coronation. You will learn how to build your internal throne, the atrophied muscle of self-worth. To understand how to build this throne, we first have to understand why the space for it is currently empty. The answer, once again, is neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity, as we've discussed, is your brain's ability to change its own structure based on what you do, think, and pay attention to. Your brain is a living map, and your repeated actions are the map makers, carving deep roads and pathways. Think of it this way. Your brain is a ruthless efficiency expert. Any neural pathway you use frequently gets stronger. It gets myelinated, wrapped in a fatty sheath that makes its signals faster and more automatic. This is how habits are built. And any neural pathway you don't use, it gets weaker. The brain, in its efficiency, prunes it. The connections wither. The muscle atrophies from disuse. Now, let's apply this to your self-worth. For decades, you have relentlessly practiced the art of external validation. You do something, you wait for praise. You receive praise. You get a dopamine hit, the reward. The neural pathway for that specific loop gets stronger, faster, and more myelinated. External validation pathway. Action, wait for external cue, receive cue, good job, dopamine reward. You have run this loop thousands, perhaps millions of times. You are an Olympic-level athlete at seeking external validation. That pathway in your brain is no longer a path. It's a 6-lane superhighway. Meanwhile, what about the pathway for internal validation? When was the last time you stopped by yourself and truly celebrated a win before anyone else even knew about it? When did you pause and give yourself an internal good job that actually felt like a reward? For most people, the answer is never or rarely. That neural pathway, the one that says, "My own approval is the reward," is a dusty, overgrown, barely visible footpath in the jungle of your mind. It's weak, it's atrophied. Internal validation pathway, action, to internal assessment, "I did this well," to dopamine reward. This is why, right now, loving yourself feels like a lie. This is why being your own best friend feels hollow. It's because when you try to validate yourself, you're sending a signal down a weak, broken pathway. The signal is faint. The reward doesn't come. Your brain, in its craving for that dopamine hit, immediately panics and reverts to the superhighway it knows. This internal stuff isn't working. Go find someone to tell you you're good. This is not a character flaw. This is a structural problem. And the good news about any structural problem? We are the builders. We can fix it. The hollow wait for good job. Let's see what this atrophied muscle looks like in your real daily life. You've just spent 2 weeks on a massive project, a report, a presentation, a piece of code. You killed it. You know objectively it's good work. You stayed late, you solved 3 major problems. You went above and beyond. You hit send. You email it to your boss. And now the wait begins. You are in a state of suspended animation. You check your email every 5 minutes. You check your chat status. You see the read receipt. She's seen it. An hour goes by. Nothing. Your stomach feels hollow. The high of finishing the project is gone, replaced by a low-grade, buzzing anxiety. Does she hate it? Did I miss something? Is it not as good as I thought? Why isn't she saying anything? 4 hours later, a reply finally lands. This is great. Good job. The dopamine hit lands. The relief is instantaneous and intoxicating. The tension in your shoulders releases. You are safe. You are validated. You are good. But look at what just happened. You gave all of your power for 4 hours to someone else. Your own expert opinion of your own work meant nothing. It was a hollow, silent echo in your head. The only opinion that mattered, the only one that could activate your reward system, was hers. This is the life of a person with an atrophied internal validation pathway. You are a ghost in your own life, waiting for others to tell you that you exist. You are perpetually available for their judgment, because without it, you have no way to validate your own. This is a powerless, exhausting way to live, and we are ending it. The blueprint for your internal throne. We are now going to begin the active, physical, neurological construction of your internal throne. This is not a fake-it-till-you-make-it exercise. This is a series of targeted neuroplasticity drills. You are going to be a neuroarchitect. Your job is to force your brain to send signals down that dusty, overgrown footpath of self-approval. At first, it will feel forced. It will feel fake. The hit will be small. This is normal. You are literally carving a new road. You have to push through the jungle. But every single time you run this new loop, you are laying down more myelin. You are making the connection stronger. You are building the muscle. Here are your first 2 blueprints. Blueprint 1, the evidence log. Your brain is hooked on proof. It needs evidence to believe something. The disease to please trained it to see other people's praise as the only valid evidence. We are now going to create a new internal evidence log. What it is: a physical notebook or a private document on your computer. The title is Evidence. How to do it? Every single day. Before you go to sleep, you will write down 3 wins. A win is not, I cured cancer. A win is, I wanted to skip the gym, but I went. I was in a meeting and I spoke up with my idea, even though my voice shook. I said no to that quick question from Mark so I could finish my real work. See how we're using this? I finished the first draft of the report. I was present with my kids without my phone for an hour. But here is the critical neurological step. You don't just list them. You must write 1 sentence of internal validation next to each one. You must assign the value yourself. Instead of went to the gym, write went to the gym. I am proud of my discipline. Instead of spoke up in meeting, write spoke up in meeting. I am brave and my voice matters. Instead of finished the report, write finished the report. This is high-quality work, and I am a professional. This is not arrogance. This is evidence. You are forcing your brain to connect action to internal assessment. You are generating the good job signal yourself. At first, it's just words. But as your log grows to 10, 50, 100 entries, you are building a physical dossier of your own power. You are giving your brain undeniable proof that you are capable, disciplined, and valuable based on your own authority. Blueprint 2. Closing the loop. Internally. Let's rerun the project scenario. This drill is designed to close the validation loop yourself before you seek it externally. What it is: an internal debrief you perform immediately after completing any significant task. How to do it: You just hit send on that big project. The wait anxiety begins. Your brain immediately starts craving the external hit. You are going to intercept that loop. You will stop. Turn your chair away from your computer. Close your eyes. Take one deep breath. And you will give yourself a 30-second internal debrief. You will ask yourself 3 questions, and you will answer them silently, or out loud if you're alone. What specifically am I proud of in this work? Answer, I am proud of the market analysis in Section 3. It's original. I am proud that I caught that data error. What challenge did I overcome to get this done? Answer, I was interrupted 10 times, but I held my focus. The data was a mess, and I cleaned it. What does this prove about me? Answer, it proves I am resilient, detail-oriented, and I finish what I start. You then say one final sentence to yourself. This is good work. I am proud of it. Any feedback from here is just data for the next version. My part is done, and it is done well. Now you anchor that feeling. Feel the physical sensation of that pride. It's small at first, but it's there. That is the feeling of the new pathway firing. That is the hit you are giving yourself. You have just closed the loop. You have given yourself the dopamine. Now, what happens when your boss's good job email finally arrives 4 hours later? It is no longer a desperate fix for your addiction. It is a bonus. It is a nice to have. You have moved from, I am nothing until you praise me, to, I already know I'm good, and I'm glad we're on the same page. This is the internal throne. It is not a magical aha moment. It is a construction project. It is the daily, grinding, unglamorous, and essential work of laying one brick at a time. You are using the science of neuroplasticity to build the art of self-worth. You are carving new pathways for power. You are taking the dopamine switch out of the world's hands and placing it firmly in your own. You are no longer waiting for validation. You are manufacturing it. You are becoming the primary source of your own power. Your life, your time, your energy, and your focus, they are a fortress. They are your sacred, personal territory. So why are you letting everyone just walk right through the front gate? Why are you letting them track their muddy boots all over your carpets, raid your refrigerator, and put their feet up on your furniture, all while you smile, seethe, and ask if they need anything else? You are the exhausted, resentful guardian of a fortress with no gates, no guards, and no walls. We have this deep-seated, toxic belief that boundaries are mean. We believe that setting a limit is an act of aggression, that saying, you cannot treat me this way, is selfish, unkind, or confrontational. This is perhaps the most disempowering lie you've ever been told. Boundaries are not walls, they are not weapons, they are not mean. Boundaries are simply instructions. They are the user manual for your life. They are the clear, kind, and loving set of directions you give to the world on how to have a healthy, respectful, and successful relationship with you. The problem is, you've never written your manual. You've never defined your terms of engagement. You've left the front gate of your fortress wide open, and now you're angry and exhausted because people are walking in. Today, we draw the blueprint. We are going to design, build, and communicate your new terms of engagement. This is not about building walls to keep people out. This is about building a clear, strong, and kind front gate so you can finally, powerfully decide who and what you let in. The slow poison of resentment. Before we build the blueprint, we must understand the cost of our current boundaryless state. The cost isn't just being busy. The cost isn't just stress. The true, deep, and poisonous cost of having no boundaries is resentment. Let's make this painfully real. It's 3 p.m. on a Tuesday. You are in a focus block, Chapter 4. You are deep in the zone, finally untangling that complex problem. Your phone rings. You look down. It's a family member. Let's call her your sister. You know what this is. She's not calling with news. She's not in an emergency. She's calling to vent. She's calling to complain about her job, her partner, the weather, for 45 minutes. Your brain goes to war. Your prefrontal cortex, CEO brain, says, "Do not answer. This is not the time. Your work is important. Send a text." Your amygdala, threat detector, screams, "Danger, social rejection. If you decline her call, she'll be hurt. She'll think you don't care. She'll be mad at you." Chapter 3. Your reward pathway, addiction, whispers, "Be the good sister. Be the supportive one. She'll be so grateful." Chapter 2. The fear and the addiction win. You silence your CEO and you pick up the phone. "Hey, what's up?" For the next 45 minutes, you sit there, phone pinned to your ear, staring at your monitor as your focus evaporates. You make the appropriate and "oh wow" sounds. You give advice you know she won't take. Finally, she's done. "Oh, thank you so much for listening. I feel so much better. You're the best." And you say, "Anytime." You hang up the phone. Do you feel like the best sister? Do you feel kind? Do you feel loving? No. You feel resentful. You are simmering with a low-grade, quiet fury. You are angry at her for calling, and you are even angrier at yourself for answering. Your focus is shattered, your workflow is destroyed, and you're now behind on your real work. This is resentment. And resentment is the #1 sign that a core boundary has been violated. The biology of a grudge. Now, here is the critical link you must understand. That feeling of resentment, that simmering, stewing anger, that is not just an emotion. It is a chronic stress response. In Chapter 3, we talked about the acute stress spike of saying no. It's a fast, hot cortisol flood that feels terrible, but it's over quickly. Resentment is infinitely more toxic. It is a slow, steady, 24/7 cortisol drip. When you are holding that grudge, when you are stewing in that "how dare they" feeling, your brain is interpreting that chronic emotional state as a chronic, low-grade threat. You are not safe. You are being trespassed against. You are being taken advantage of. Your amygdala is constantly telling your body, "We are not secure. The perimeter is breached." So all day long, it leaks cortisol into your system. All night long, as you replay the injustice in your mind, it leaks cortisol. And what does chronic cortisol do? As we know, it is a neurotoxin to your prefrontal cortex, your CEO brain. This is the ultimate devastating paradox. Your failure to set a boundary to protect your focus literally destroys your ability to focus. Your resentment-fueled cortisol drip is damaging your executive function. It's making you more scattered, more impulsive, and less able to make smart decisions. It clouds your judgment. It ruins your sleep. It suppresses your immune system. You are not just unhappy. You are poisoning your own brain. All because you thought setting a boundary was mean. Which is meaner? Saying "I can't talk right now"? Or allowing a relationship to be so poisoned by your own silent resentment that you can barely stand the person? A no is an act of acute kindness. A lack of boundaries is an act of chronic, self-destructive, and relationship-ending cruelty. It's time to write the manual. The Boundary Blueprint, a step-by-step guide. This is your practical, step-by-step guide to designing and installing your new terms of engagement. Part 1. The design phase, internal work. You cannot communicate a boundary you have not yourself defined. You must be clear first. Step 1. Identify the trespass. Find the resentment. Your resentment is your new best friend. It is your personal boundary alarm. It is a bright red flashing light telling you, "Violation detected. Violation detected." For the next 3 days, carry a small notebook or use a notes app. Every time you feel that flash of resentment, write it down. Example: Felt resentment when Mark from sales IM'd me with an urgent request during my focus block. Example: felt resentment when my partner volunteered me for a social event I didn't want to attend. Example: felt resentment when my sister called again during my workday. Step 2. Define the limit. Write the rule. Now, look at each of those resentment signals. Your job is to create a clear, simple, factual rule that would prevent that feeling. This is for you, not for them, yet. I do not answer non-emergency IMs during my 9:11 a.m. focus block. Example: I will not commit to any social plans without a 24-hour check-in period with myself. Example: I do not take personal vent session calls between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Step 3. Define your why. Connect to your power. This is the most critical step. You must connect this new rule to your internal throne, Chapter 6. Why does this rule matter? Example: my why is, my deep work is the most valuable thing I produce, and it deserves to be protected. Example: my why is, my free time is my own, and I have the right to choose how I spend it. Example: my why is, I love my sister, and I want to be fully present for her, which I can be at 5:30, but not at 3. You now have a blueprint. You are no longer mad. You have a clear, logical, and powerful position. Part 2. The communication phase, external work. This is how you post your user manual for the world to see, kindly and clearly. A. Proactive boundaries, the user manual. This is the kindest, easiest, and most professional way to set boundaries. You set them before they can be violated. You are simply giving people the new operating instructions. At work. This is your manufacturing scarcity system, Chapter 4. Put your focus blocks in your public calendar. Use your email autoresponder or chat status. I am in a focus block until 11 a.m. and will not be seeing messages. If this is an emergency, please call. Your new email signature? My working hours are 9 to 5. I will respond to emails received after hours the next business day. At home. This is a simple, loving team meeting. Tell your partner, family, or friends, "Hey, I'm working on a new focus system so I can be more productive at work and more present when I'm with you. So, just to let you know, from 9 to 11 a.m., I'm going to be in a deep work zone with my phone on silent. I'll check in at 11, but if it's a real emergency, just call me twice." This is not an attack. This is a plan. You are framing it as a benefit to them, more present when I'm with you. B. Reactive boundaries, the polite reminder. This is what you do when your boundary, new or old, is violated. This is the big, scary one. But it's not. You are not starting a fight. You are simply giving a calm, kind, firm reminder. Let's rerun the sister scenario. She calls at 3 p.m. Your new rule is, I do not take vent session calls from 9 to 5. You see her name. Your amygdala fires, danger. But your prefrontal cortex, armed with your blueprint, is now in charge. You have a script. You answer the call. Hey, I'm so glad you called. This is essential. You affirm the person. You are not rejecting her. I'm right in the middle of a deep focus block at work, and I can't give you the attention you deserve right now. This is the no, but notice the framing. It's not "you're annoying me." It's "I can't give you the attention you deserve." This is an act of respect. Can I please call you back at 5:30 when I'm all done and can really listen? This is the solution. You are not rejecting the conversation. You are rescheduling it to a time that works for you. 99% of people will say, "Oh, yeah, of course, talk to you then." Let's analyze this masterpiece. Affirmation plus clear no framed as a positive plus a new clear time to connect. You hang up. The entire interaction took 30 seconds. How do you feel? Not resentful, not angry. You feel powerful. You feel in control. You feel respectful of her and, for the first time, respectful of yourself. You just protected your fortress and strengthened your relationship. That is the power of a boundary. Your blueprint is your freedom. It's the moment you stop being a victim of your life, angry that people are taking advantage of you, and become an architect. You are teaching people your value. You are replacing chronic cortisol-fueled resentment with acute, powerful respect. Boundaries are not the walls of your prison. They are the blueprints for your power. Did you know that the most creative, successful, and impactful people in the world are not masters of accumulation? They are masters of elimination. Did you know that the secret to their profound success isn't what they say yes to? It's the thousands of good ideas they look at every single day and brutally, decisively say no to. We are raised on a toxic myth, the myth that opportunity means saying yes to everything. We are terrified of closing a single door. We suffer from a crippling, cultural-level case of opportunity FOMO, the fear of missing out. What if this coffee meeting is the one that leads to the big break? What if this extra project is the one that gets me the promotion? What if this networking event is where I meet my next partner? And so we say yes. We say yes to everything. We say yes to the committee that drains our soul. We say yes to the "let's pick your brain" coffee chat. We say yes to the project that is 100% outside our core goals. We build a life that is a monument to yes. Our calendars are a patchwork quilt of other people's priorities, stitched together with our own reluctant agreement. We are frantic. We are exhausted. We are stretched a mile wide and an inch deep. And at the end of the year, we look back at this flurry of activity, and we are forced to ask the devastating question, with all that busyness, what did I actually build? The answer, all too often, is nothing. Nothing of substance, nothing that matters, nothing that will last. Today, we are going to dismantle this yes myth. We are going to explore the deep, damaging cognitive cost of being an opportunity seeker. And you will learn to embrace the single most powerful productivity tool on the planet, the strategic, intentional, empire-building no. The cognitive bankruptcy of yes. To understand why your yes strategy is failing, we must go back to your brain. Specifically, we must once again visit your prefrontal cortex, PFC. As we've discussed, this is your CEO brain. This is the sophisticated, rational, brilliant part of your mind that handles your highest value work. It does the strategic planning. It solves the complex problems. It generates the creative breakthroughs. It's the part of you that builds empires. But this CEO brain has a critical, non-negotiable limitation. It is not a supercomputer. It is a battery. And this battery has a finite, dwindling charge. Let's call this charge your cognitive load capacity. When you wake up after a night of restorative, tech-free sleep, thanks to Chapter 5, your battery is at 100%. But every single decision you make, no matter how small, drains that battery. What should I wear? 1% drain. What should I eat for breakfast? 1% drain. Should I read this email now or later? 2% drain. How do I word this reply so they're not upset? 3% drain. What's that notification? 1% drain. This phenomenon is called decision fatigue. Your CEO gets tired. And a tired CEO makes bad decisions. A tired CEO doesn't innovate. A tired CEO doesn't build. A tired CEO just tries to get to the end of the day. Now look at your always available life. It is a non-stop 16-hour blizzard of micro-decisions, interruptions, and quick questions. You have structured your entire life to drain your cognitive battery as fast as possible. But there's an even better, more powerful analogy. Let's stop thinking of it as a battery. Let's think of it as money. You wake up every morning with $100 of cognitive gold. This $100 is your genius money. It's your empire-building currency. It's meant to be spent on your most important, most valuable, most difficult work. It's for that strategic plan. It's for writing that book. It's for being a present, loving parent. But what happens? The ping of an email arrives at 7:05 a.m. It's a trivial request from a vendor. You could ignore it, but your always-on habit kicks in. You open it, you think, you reply. You just spent $5 of your cognitive gold on a 50-cent problem. A colleague quick questions you on chat. You stop your real work, switch your mental context, read their message, and reply. You just spent $10 of your cognitive gold on someone else's $1 problem. You say yes to that pointless 1-hour meeting in the middle of your most productive time. You just incinerated $25 of your cognitive gold to sit in a room and check your email. By 10:30 a.m., you have spent all of your gold. You have spent your entire genius budget on a pile of cognitive pennies. And now it's time to work on your big project, the one that matters, the empire you're supposed to be building. You sit down, you open the blank document, and nothing. You feel dull, you feel resistant, you feel lazy. You rather clean your inbox or scroll social media. You are not lazy. You are cognitively bankrupt. You have no genius currency left to spend. You have given it all away. This is the devastating hidden cost of yes. Every yes to a small, low-value request is a non-negotiable no to your deep, meaningful, high-value work. You are trading your empire for pennies. The no that creates flow. The solution is to flip the entire script. You must stop being a yes man to the trivial and become the fierce, unyielding guardian of your cognitive gold. Your no is your new weapon. Your no is your new investment strategy. Your no is the ultimate productivity tool. You must stop thinking of this as time management. This is energy management. You are no longer managing a clock. You are managing a finite resource of high-quality cognitive energy. From now on, every request that comes your way is not a question of, do I have time for this? The only question is this worth my cognitive gold? That pointless meeting? No, that is not worth $25 of my gold. That quick question chat? No, I will answer it during my communication window this afternoon, using my cognitive pennies, not my genius gold. That opportunity to join a committee that doesn't align with your goals? No, a powerful, strategic no. When you do this, you are not being mean. You are not being unhelpful. You are being a professional. You are being a steward of your value. This strategic no, this elimination of the good, is what creates the non-negotiable space for the great. And what is the great? It is the thing we are all starving for in our distracted, available lives. It is the holy grail of productivity and fulfillment. It is the flow state. Flow, a concept pioneered by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, is that magical neurological state of being in the zone. It's when you are so completely absorbed in a task that the world just melts away. Time distorts. 4 hours can feel like 20 minutes. Your sense of self vanishes. You are not doing the work, you are the work. Your skills are perfectly matched to the challenge, and your output is 5 times more powerful than your normal state. This is where your genius lives. This is where your best ideas are born. This is where your empire is built. And here is the absolute ironclad law of flow. Flow state is neurologically impossible in a life of constant interruption. You cannot achieve this deep creative state if your brain has been trained to expect a ping every 3 minutes. You cannot get there if your CEO is bankrupt by 10 a.m. Flow requires deep, protected, unavailable time. Flow requires a full bank of $100 of cognitive gold. Your focus blocks, Chapter 4, are the launchpad for flow. Your digital leash breaking, Chapter 5, is the fuel. And your new, powerful, strategic no is the gatekeeper. Your no is the bouncer at the door of your mind, turning away the trivial distractions so your inner genius can finally get to work in peace. The chisel of elimination. The most successful and creative people are not hoarders of opportunity. They are sculptors. They have a powerful, crystal-clear vision of the masterpiece they are trying to create, their empire, their life's work. And they use their no like a chisel. They chip away the good. They chip away the fine. They chip away the interesting. They chip away the maybe one day. They say no to 1,000 things so they can say a yes that shakes the world. Your empire is not built by accumulating a million yeses. It is built by the ruthless, focused elimination of everything that is not great. So, look at your life. Look at your calendar. Look at your commitments. It is time to start chiseling. What good thing are you doing that is stealing the gold from your great thing? What yes are you giving that is a no to your flow state? What pennies are you collecting that are costing you your empire? This isn't just productivity. This is your life's work. This is your power. Stop spending your gold on pennies. Start investing it in your masterpiece. Your no is the chisel. Pick it up. So you've done it. You said no to your boss. You let your sister's vent call go to voicemail and texted her a new time, Chapter 7. You put your focus block in your calendar and ignored your instant messages, Chapter 4. You have, for the first time, held the line. You have defended your fortress. And people are not happy. Your boss seemed a little cold. Your sister sent you a passive-aggressive text, "Must be nice to be so busy you can't talk to your family." Your colleague Mark, after seeing your "will reply after 11" status, wrote, "Need this now?" You feel that familiar, horrible clench in your stomach. The social pain alarm, Chapter 3, is blaring. Your amygdala is screaming, "Danger! Danger! Social rejection is imminent. Abort!" Abort. Apologize. Say yes. Fix it. This is the moment. This is the moment 99% of people give up. This is the moment the cage door, which was just starting to open, slams shut and locks again. Welcome to the re-entry. This is the fiery, turbulent, and absolutely predictable phase of your transformation. This is the pushback. And I am here to tell you that this is not a sign of your failure. It is the #1 evidence of your success. You are changing the rules of engagement. And the people who benefited, consciously or unconsciously, from your old rules, your toxic availability, are now sending out a distress signal. They are testing the new system. They are, in essence, asking, "Are you serious?" Today, you learn how to answer that question with a calm, firm, and unshakable "Yes, I am." You will receive the pushback playbook, and you will learn to hold the line not with aggression but with power. The extinction burst. Why the pushback is a good sign. To understand what's happening, you need to learn a crucial term from behavioral psychology, the extinction burst. It's a simple, powerful concept. Imagine a rat in a cage with a lever. For a year, every time it presses the lever, it gets a food pellet. That's its reward loop. Remember your dopamine loop from Chapter 2? Then, one day, you change the rule. You set a boundary. You turn off the machine. The rat presses the lever. No food. What does the rat do? Does it just shrug and walk away? No. It presses the lever faster. It slams the lever. It bites the lever. It throws a frantic, full-body tantrum. It does the old behavior with a desperate, sudden, and dramatic increase in frequency and intensity. This is the extinction burst. It is the brain's final, panicked attempt to make the old, reliable reward system work again. This used to work. Maybe I just need to do it harder. You are the scientist. The people around you are the rat. That sounds harsh, but the mechanism is identical. Your sister has learned, for a decade, that when she presses your button, calls you, she gets a pellet. Your instant, undivided 45-minute attention. Today, you set a boundary. She pressed the button. No pellet. Her brain panicked. This is wrong. The machine is broken. So she slammed the lever. The passive-aggressive text, "must be nice," was her extinction burst. It was a desperate, unconscious attempt to force you back into your old, predictable, reward-giving pattern. This is not a sign that your boundary is wrong. This is a sign that your boundary is working. The pushback is the proof that you have successfully interrupted the old, broken system. The rat is in a tantrum. This is the most dangerous moment. If you give in now, if you call her back, apologizing, you have just taught her something far more dangerous. You've taught her that slamming the lever works. You've taught her that your no isn't real, and that all it takes to break you is a simple guilt trip. You cannot and will not give in. The Pushback Playbook, your terms of engagement under fire. This pushback will come in 3 primary forms. Your disease-to-please wiring is exquisitely sensitive to all of them. But now you will have a plan. You will see them coming, and you will know exactly what to do. You will not be reactive, amygdala. You will be responsive, prefrontal cortex. Your new mantra is calm, firm, empathy. 1. The weapon, the guilt trip. What it looks like. This is the most common. It's the sigh. It's the, "wow, must be nice." It's, "I guess I'll just have to handle it all by myself then." It's, "You're the only one I can turn to, but okay." How it works. This is a direct, calculated missile aimed at your disease to please, Chapter 2, and your social pain, Chapter 3. It is designed to make you feel like a bad person, a bad sister, a bad friend, a bad employee. Your playbook. Calm, firm, empathy. Do not apologize for your boundary. "I'm so sorry, you're right, I'll do it." Do not get defensive. "What, I'm not allowed to be busy?" Do. Acknowledge the feeling and hold the boundary. Scenario. Your sister's text. "Must be nice to be so busy you can't talk to your family." Your response. You wait until 5:30 just as you promised. "Hey, just calling you back. I'm all done with work and have my full attention for you." "I'm sorry you were frustrated earlier. It's never my intention to make you feel that way. I'm just building a new system to protect my work focus, which is why I'm now making time for personal calls after 5:30. Let's analyze this. Calm. You did not react in the moment. You stuck to your timeline. Empathy. You validated her feeling. "I'm sorry you were frustrated," but you did not apologize for your action. This is a critical distinction. You can be sorry they feel bad without being sorry you set the boundary. Firm. You restated the boundary, which is why I'm making time for personal calls after 5:30. You are not arguing. You are not negotiating. You are informing. This is the new rule. 2. The weapon, the "you've changed." What it looks like. This one hurts. It comes from longtime friends, partners, or family. "You're not as fun as you used to be. You're getting so corporate. I just feel like I can't reach you anymore. You've changed." How it works. This is a social identity attack. It's designed to trigger your deepest fear of rejection. Your brain screams, "They're casting me out of the tribe. I'm changing into someone unlovable." Your playbook. Calm, firm, empathy. Do not panic and revert. "You're right. I'm sorry. Let's go out. I'll do the favor." Do not get angry. "Well, the old me was a doormat." Do. Agree and frame the change as a positive. Scenario. A friend says, "You've changed. You never just pick up anymore." Your response. "You're right. I have been changing some things. My old always-on system was burning me out, and I realized I was giving everyone, especially the people I love, my leftover, stressed-out energy. My goal now is to be less available but 100% present when I am with you. So when we schedule a dinner, I want my phone to be off and I want to be all yours. Can we do that this week?" Let's analyze this. Calm, firm. You agree with them. This is a brilliant disarming tactic. You're right. It ends the fight before it starts. Empathy. You explain your why and frame it as a benefit to them. I was giving you my stressed out energy. I want to be 100% present for you. Firm. You are not going back to the old way. You are offering the new and better way. Can we schedule a dinner? 3. The weapon. The direct challenge. The power play. What it looks like. This is the Mark from sales or the micromanaging boss. Need this now. Or, I see you're in a focus block, but I need you to join this call. How it works. This is a simple power play. It's a test of your professional resolve. Is your boundary just a suggestion, or is it a rule? Your playbook. Do not cave. This is the worst thing you can do. You will have taught them your boundaries are meaningless. Do not be rude. Can't you read my status, Mark? Do. Be a broken record. Calmly, firmly, and politely restate your boundary. Scenario. Mark pings. Need this now. Your response. You wait until your 11 a.m. communication window. Hi, Mark. Saw your note from earlier. As my status said, I was in a deep work block, and am just seeing this now. How can I help? Scenario. Boss says, I see you're in a focus block, but I need you to join this call. Your response. I'm in the middle of a critical task for the X project. Is this an emergency that requires me to drop it, or can I join in 30 minutes when my block is over, or can I get looped in after the fact? Let's analyze this. Calm, firm. You are being impeccably professional. You are not refusing. You are negotiating. You are stating your equally important priority. You are showing you want to help. How can I help? Is this an emergency? But you are not auto-trashing your own empire-building work, Chapter 8, for their penny problem. This forces them to make a choice. 9 times out of 10, they will realize it's not an emergency, and they will say, it's fine, 30 minutes is okay. You have just held the line. The extinction will pass. The extinction burst feels like a war. It's not. It's a transition. It's a test. The tantrum will subside. The rat will stop slamming the lever when it learns, definitively, that the rule has changed and the pellet is no longer coming from that behavior. Your sister will learn that if she wants to really talk to you, she should call you at 5:30. Your friend will learn that spontaneous calls don't work, but a scheduled dinner means they get 100% of your amazing, present, and recharged self. Mark will learn that your focus block is not a suggestion, and he'll start planning his urgent requests more effectively. This will be uncomfortable. Your social pain alarms will fire. Your disease to please will beg you to give in. Your only job is to hold. Hold the line. Breathe. Use the playbook. Be calm. Be firm. Be kind. This is the re-entry. The fire is hot, but you are not burning. You are forging. You are not a victim of this heat. You are the architect of the new, stronger, and more powerful self that is emerging on the other side. Hold the line. You've stopped being available. You've survived the diagnosis, the neurological detox, the boundary setting, and the fiery re-entry of the extinction burst. The frantic 24/7 convenience store of your old self is closed, perhaps for the first time in your entire adult life. The noise has stopped. The pings are silenced. The constant, buzzing, reactive static of your always-on life has finally faded, and you are left standing in the middle of a new, vast, unfamiliar territory. It is quiet. It is spacious. It is, perhaps, a little uncomfortable. You have spent your entire life defined by your reactivity to others. Your to-do list was a list of other people's demands. Your busyness was your identity. Now, who are you? With all this newfound time, this cognitive gold in your pocket, this protected fortress of focus, what do you actually do? You've stopped being available to everyone. So, the real, final, and most important question is, what are you available for now? This is the final challenge. The journey isn't over. Reclaiming your power isn't a one-time event. It's a new way of living. The void left by constant busyness can be disorienting. You've escaped the prison of reactivity only to find yourself in the terrifying, open field of choice. This is the final, beautiful confrontation. Without the endless stream of external demands, you are left, at last, alone with yourself, your goals, your dreams, your true priorities. This is where you truly reclaim your power. This is where you make the final critical pivot from a reactive life to a creative life. You haven't just stopped being available, you have finally become available to your own future. The new definition of available. For this entire book, we have treated available as a dirty word. It was a word for powerlessness, for reactivity, for a life lived on someone else's terms. But now, we are going to reclaim that word, just as we reclaimed our power. We are going to transform it. The old definition of available was open to any input at any time. The new, powerful definition of available is intentionally present for what matters. This is the available self. The available self is no longer a yes man to the world. The available self is a hell yes to their own life. This is not a life of selfishness, it is a life of impact. You are not a recluse, you are a revolutionary. You have done the hard work of building a fortress not to hide in, but to build from. You have created a secure, powerful base of operations from which you can now choose to engage with the world, on your terms. So, what does this new available self look like? What are you available for? 1. You are available for deep work. For the first time, you are truly available for your masterpiece. That $100 of cognitive gold you woke up with? Chapter 8. It's 10 a.m. and it's still in your pocket. You have defended it with your no, your focus blocks, and your digital boundaries. Now you sit down at your clean desk. There are no pings, there are no interruptions. It is just you and the work. You are available for the flow state. You are available for the big idea. You are available for the strategic thought that changes the game. You are available to produce work that is not just done, but is excellent. You are no longer giving the world your frantic, interrupted C game. You are now in the sacred, protected blocks, giving your full, undistracted 100% A game. The results will be staggering. Your career, your projects, your art, they will transform from mediocre to masterful. 2. You are available for true presence. This may be the most profound change of all. Your always-on self was never truly present. When you were with your kids, you were checking your email. When you were having dinner with your partner, you were thinking about a work problem. You were a fragmented, distracted ghost haunting your own life. The available self is different. You've built your digital sunset. Chapter 4. It's 6 p.m. The work is done. The laptop is closed. The notifications are off. And now you walk into your living room. You are 100% there. When your child tells you a rambling, 10-minute story about a video game, you are not just ahhing them. You are listening. You are available to the look in their eyes, to the excitement in their voice. When your partner asks, "How was your day?" you are available to have a real, connected, 15-minute conversation, not just a one-word, exhausted reply as you scroll through your phone. You are finally available for the non-urgent but profoundly important moments that are your life. You have stopped giving your distracted time to everyone, and you have started giving your quality presence to the few who have truly earned it. This is not selfish. This is the deepest, most powerful form of love and respect you can possibly give. 3. You are available for your own well-being. Your old self was never available for you. You were too busy for the gym, too stressed to cook a healthy meal, too tired to meditate, read, or just sit. The available self has reclaimed this space. You are now available for that 7 a.m. workout. You are available to take 10 minutes to sit in the sun with no phone and just be. Chapter 5. You are available to hear the first, quiet signals of your own body before they become a full-blown burnout. You can hear the "I am tired" whisper before it becomes an "I am done" roar. You are no longer a martyr to your own schedule. You are the steward of your own energy. You have finally become available to your own physical and mental health. Your new life, from reactive to creative. This is the ultimate transformation. The always-on person lives a reactive life. Their life is a response to a series of external stimuli. Their calendar is a reflection of other people's needs. They are a pinball, bounced around by the pings and demands of the world, never choosing their own direction. The available self lives a creative life. You are no longer a pinball. You are the player. You are the architect. You wake up in the morning in that new, sacred, phone-free quiet, Chapter 5, and you do not ask, "What does the world demand of me today?" You ask a new, terrifying, and liberating question. What will I create today? Will you create a brilliant new strategy? Will you create a moment of genuine connection with your family? Will you create a stronger, healthier body? Will you create a boundary that protects your peace? This is your new power. It is not the power to control others. It is the power to create your own life, your own work, and your own self, one intentional choice at a time. You have done the work. You have torn down the old, rotted structure of toxic availability. You have cleared the land. You have laid a new, powerful foundation built on your internal throne. Chapter 6. The blueprint is in your hand. The cognitive gold is in your pocket. The quiet is here. The space is yours. You are, at last, available. Now, what will you build?